the Treasury Star Parade. Produced under the personal direction of William A. Beecher, with David Broekman and his orchestra, and Miss Ilka Chase in a special radio adaptation based on a poem by Margaret Sangster from Cosmopolitan Magazine, and an essay by Maud Williamson entitled, To My Son.
This is Ilka Chase, ladies and gentlemen. Several weeks ago, on one of these Treasury Star Parade programs, I was listening to Mr. Henry Hull saying, "So long, son," to his boy Shelley when he went off to camp. I don't know when I've been so moved. Today, I feel privileged to speak those same sentiments for all the mothers who have watched their boys go marching off to meet their destiny. Dear son, a little over a year has passed since you went away, and yet I can remember the day as clearly as though it had been an hour ago. I knew that weeks and months, perhaps years, would pass before I saw you again, but I didn't cry. I had known for weeks that you might be going. For months before that, I had steeled myself. I shall be ready, I had vowed, over and over again. I shall make him proud. And then the letter came, official and full of necessary instructions, important details.
With reference to your application for flying cadet, you are advised that you have been selected for assignment to the June 1941 class, to report at the designated flying school between the hours of 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. of June 19.
And then there was information about transportation, mailing address, a clothing list that included socks and toilet articles and your own towels. I watched you as you read the letter. Your face was alight.
Gee, Mother, I'm in. I got in. Aren't you proud of your son?
Yes. Yes, indeed, I was proud. I was proud of your youth and your strength. And I was proud of your eagerness and the fact that you were so pleased. I patted your arm and smiled. Better eat your breakfast, son, or you'll be late to work.
Oh, sure, Mom.
Bolting your food, one eye on the clock, hastily rereading the letter, and then sensibly off to work, just as if the day were no different from any other day.
Bye, Moms. I'll be home a little late for dinner. Bye now.
And then as the door swung to after you, it happened. Oh, I was going to be so brave. But when the door closed after you, I suddenly became all the mothers in the world rolled into one. I wanted to die. 19 days and you would be gone. You would be going to war. We weren't in it then, but I knew that it was bound to come. War. Oh, dear God. My logic was gone from me. My brain was plucked dry. But not my eyes. Tears that had been disdained for years rose and flowed over. A legion of phantom fears, ageless as motherhood itself, stalked the room to whisper and hiss and point.
You know what happens to men in this war, don't you? Yes, you know what happens to them. You've seen the pictures in the rotogravures. You know what may happen to him, don't you? You know what may happen to your son?
Pictures painted by the brain of my son over a battlefield in a plane.
Oh, so they want to fight like that, do they? All right, give them hell, Bill. We'll go right on top of them and ride their tail. Hey, what's the matter, Bill? Bill, the wing's gone. Bill, we're falling. We're going down.
Oh, God! A voice I didn't recognize cried. Oh, God, where are you? And then I could hear it was my own. I closed my eyes, but there was no shutting out the pictures. There were dozens of them. Boys wounded, killed. Young boys who were good and ought to live. Boys meant for games, not guns. For work, not war. Oh, God! The voice I didn't recognize as my own cried out again. Oh, God, where are you? 19 days passed quickly, David. To you, they seemed interminable, I know. But to me, they were too soon gone. After that first day, I was quiet and calm. I smiled as I helped you get ready, as I bought things for you at the store. People said,
Your boy's going into the Air Force, isn't he, Mrs. Brown?
yes, he is.
I suppose you're terribly pleased.
Yes, I am.
Now, let me see. Shaving soap. Oh, yes, here it is.
No, there were no more tears. Not even on that last morning when you left at dawn to report for primary training 1,100 miles away. You finished your breakfast, and after a last quick check to see if you had everything with you, you picked up your bag and stood for a moment awkwardly at the door. I was smiling. I didn't trust myself to speak. You put the bag down and came over to me and stooped and kissed me, then took me in your arms.
Don't worry, Mom. I don't mean only about me. I mean about anything.
Then you were gone. I followed you to the door and stood watching as you strode away down the street. Oh, yes, I was proud of you. And I knew your father would have been, too, if he had lived to see. At the corner you paused, looking back at me, and then you waved, awkwardly, as a child waves when he's off to school for the first time. Recognizing your awkwardness and the reason for it, I wished I'd had an American flag in my hand. And then suddenly I lifted the corner of my apron and waved it as if it were a flag. And then it came over me all at once that an apron is a symbol, just as the flag is a symbol. It stands for service and devotion. Then you turned the corner and were gone. I kept on smiling. I felt that I'd be cheating you if I broke down the moment you were out of sight. Only standing there in the soft morning light, the corner of my apron still held in my hand, I began remembering things, half-forgotten things that suddenly leapt into vivid life before my mind's eye. All the milestones in your life, all the things that tell a mother her son is growing up, his first day at school, and the sudden pang when you realize that this is his first step out into the world, that after that first day, he will never be completely yours again. He will have begun to belong to himself and the world. He will have begun to be a man. And I remember the first time you came home with a black eye. I was frantic. My son, my baby, fighting. Were you hurt? Why had you done it? Words poured from me. I think I even began to cry. But your father laid a warning hand on my arm, and I realized that you were laughing.
Oh, this ain't nothing. You should see the other guy.
And the day you got your first long trousers, you were graduating from grammar school. Your father had taken you to pick them out, and something in your manner gave me to understand that this was important stuff and no place for a mere woman. And I knew that you'd gone one more step, a long, important step toward manhood. And then, inevitably, your first date. You were so shy about it, and a little frightened. You plied me with questions about etiquette and took to combing your hair and washing behind your ears, practices which you had abandoned long since. And it was about this time, too, that when you'd finished your lessons one night, you got up and started self-consciously for the stairs.
Well, good night, Mom. Night, Pop. Guess I'll turn in.
Oh, all right. But haven't you forgotten something?
Huh? What?
You didn't kiss your mother good night.
Oh, I guess I won't do that anymore. I guess I'm getting too old for that sort of stuff.
And turned and went up the stairs. Your father's quick warning glance stopped my words, but it hurt just the same. And then your father died. It was sudden and sharp and quick. Until after the funeral was over, we had little time to think or to feel. But then we came home alone together, and the house was strangely empty, and we strangely had nothing to say to each other. You were frightened and hurt. You couldn't understand this cruel thing that had happened to you. But there was a grimness about your mouth and determination in your jawline.
Well, Mom, I guess I'd better start thinking about getting a job, hadn't I?
A job?
Sure. I guess it's up to me now, isn't it?
You wanted to quit school. I wouldn't hear of that. But I couldn't stop you from getting a job and working on the side. I couldn't stop you from paying your share of the expenses. That was 3 years ago. You were only 16 then. Oh, yes, son. A mother remembers so many things. The workbench you built in the basement to build model planes. The dark room over by the fruit shelves where you developed your photographs. Some of them you wouldn't show to me. And then one day you left one of them on your dresser. A picture of a sweet-faced, lovely girl. And I asked you who she was. So you brought her home the next night for me to meet. It was written on your face and trembled in your voice that you loved her.
Well, Mom, this is Madge. This is Mother, Madge.
And I smiled as I kissed her and gave my last rites in you away to this girl I hardly knew. I smiled, and I've gone right on smiling the whole year since. I want you to know that, son. I've had only one faltering moment. That Sunday morning when I turned on the radio and heard...
Word has just come through from Honolulu by long distance from Associated Press. The Japanese planes this morning bombed the island of Oahu, territory of Hawaii. No further details were released. White House confirmation is still lacking.
The inevitable had finally happened. We were at war. The news has come fast since then, a rising flood of news from everywhere, some good, some bad.
Japs invade Luzon.
American flyers down Jap planes over Burma.
Second AEF lands in Ireland. Flying fortresses and battle for Java.
Big American convoy reaches Australia.
A dozen places leapt like flame off the map of the world and disappeared.
Guam, Wake,
Midway,
Mindanao, Hong Kong, Luzon,
Manila,
Singapore, Java, Lae,
Bataan.
No, son, I've had no time to weep. We mothers here in America have no time for tears. There is too much that must be done. We have learned that we must be strong, because the weak have little or nothing to give. There is no confusion in our hearts, because confusion breeds futility and strikes at the heart of a nation. Life today is not futile. Behind the shadows we see, there is the promise of joy in the future. But to know that joy, we must have faith. And with faith will come understanding. And with understanding will come purpose and peace in the midst of turmoil. When you were a little boy, David, you came to me once with a bruised knee where you had fallen and hurt yourself and cried.
Kiss it, Mommy. It hurts. Kiss it and make it well.
And so I kissed it. And while I didn't really make it well, you quit crying and went back to your game. I do not know where you are today. All I know is that somewhere on the earth's wide seas, you are moving with that same eager light in your eyes towards some place of destiny. You may not come back. I pray that you do. And if you do, please remember, if you bring any hurt spots on your body or mind or soul, I'll kiss them and try to make them well again, so that you can go back to the normal life which you led, and which you and so many like you are fighting to preserve. God bless you, my son, and keep you. Your mother.
Mothers, God bless them all and keep them. What would the pattern and the fabric of our lives be without their sustaining love and faith? And now, here's a simple message. If you're investing at least 10% of your total salary in United States Treasury War Savings bonds and stamps, you're entitled to display the new Treasury War Bond sticker, and you and your entire family are entitled to wear the new Treasury 10% quota buttons. You can obtain them from your own payroll savings officer or from your city, county, or state war savings administrator. The United States Treasury Department wishes to thank the distinguished artists who gave their talents to this performance and the Hollywood Victory Committee for its courtesy in arranging for these appearances.